Hey guys, been a while since I uploaded. Wanted to do another quick Skies of Arcadia analysis video, namely the nightmare that is the planet of Arcadia. So, for those who don't know, Skies of Arcadia is functionally a game that revolves heavily around, as the name implies, sort of a sky exploration JRPG style turn-based format game. And the idea is you're kind of in like the exploration ages of this planet, and all the crucial landmasses are airbound. I used to think this didn't make a whole lot of sense, but it may actually, probably not really, but it's not a good thing. What's funny, is that the key point of this game is you're trying to stop like 5 or 6 giant kaiju called Gigas from completely eliminating the planet's populace, only to discover that the civilization that sent someone out to do that only did it so that they could, spoilers for the end of the game, call down the rains of destruction for their own Gigas, where they basically, so there's 6 moons in this game, and they all just rain hellfire, and it's this particular Gigas that caused it. But that's not the problem. That's all averted. It might be a waste of time, though. So, you need to know some of the things about the physiology of this planet. You see, it tries to mirror our own exploration ages in a lot of its plot format, based on a 2000s era middle school kid's understanding of how the exploration ages went, at the very least. But one of the big crucial key points, naturally, is the world is round discovery. That really probably actually was a well-known fact even before Jesus was a thing, but Jesus walked this earth, but details. At the very least, I know it's was it Copernicus or someone in the ancient Greek or Roman era definitely knew this. But they pretend like what effectively feels like 1400 to 1800s era exploration ages discover this. The problem is the way the map functions in the game, and those who are in cartography is going to see the problem. When you go west to east on the map, in this game, you come across the same point in the map on the opposite side. So like you go from longitude, you start at longitude 0, you keep going east, keep the same latitude, you end up back at longitude 0, continually going east, and vice versa. And the latitudinal part is where it gets a problem. So any cartographer would genuinely know that if you went north on a map long enough, let's say you started at, I don't know the latitudinal margins of Earth, but let's just say it had, well, we have a 24-hour thing, so I'm going to go 24 different latitudes. So you start at latitude 6, you go north long enough, you end up coming down at about latitude 18 south, the opposite direction. Correct me if I'm wrong on the nuances, but the general concept is there. Eventually you go down far enough south on latitude 18, you come back up on latitude 6. Of course, if it's latitude 17, it'd be latitude 5, not latitude 7. It keeps equal spacing. So, the problem is, the way Skies of Arcadia's maps works is you start off at latitude 6, going up north long enough, you hit the north end of the map, you start at latitude 6 south. For those geology or geography minded well enough, you start realizing the logistical problem that this planet is not a sphere, but in fact a donut shape or torus. And on top of that, remember how I mentioned in passing they had 6 moons? Well, actually they once had 7. One of those 7 moons is completely broken apart for reasons unknown. Those physics majors might be able to quickly figure out what that reason may be. And, excuse me. I can't talk for long and, maintain breath too much. The 7th one had basically ripped apart and had formed a giant rift that pretty much acted as a barrier for legitimate travel, kind of acting as an analogy to, I guess, what was the Bermuda Triangle / I believe there was a pretty bad torrent for people trying to travel eastward, Cape Hope at Africa, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a hybridization of those. The problem is that I said there are 6 moons, but they are more or less static locations of this planet. And they actually have properties that influence the weather local to this planet. So rather than the equivalent of Antarctica being the equivalent of Antarctica due to its proximity to the sun, it's due to a statically located purple moon hanging over that spot of the planet. And the planet's kind of dispersed, where at least one of these moons is in the center of the donut. And we see, when we look at, near the end, we go to the Silver Civilization, which, spoilers, they're the ones that control that Gigas that reign the moons. They're on the Silver Moon itself, which is over the main part of the map. It looks comparable in size to our own. So you see, you have at least one, you have 6 moons on a donut-shaped planet, one, all which seem to be comparable in size to our own, one at the center of the moon. This planet isn't flying islands. It's its Roche limit, acting as a proverbial nightmare. Now, for those who don't know what the Roche limit is, Naruto The Last and Avengers Infinity War both cover this. Unlike in Majora's Mask, if you tried to chuck the moon at Earth, it wouldn't just hit the Earth like a giant flipping meteorite. No, it would slowly pull itself apart. Basically hitting the Earth in pieces. And this is probably what this 7th Black Moon did. It may have been a smaller one or closer to the planet already, thus it hit its Roche limit sooner and just completely fell apart. Meaning that the rains of destruction aren't even necessary. The moons themselves will necessarily be the problem. But you've got a planet with really a shape that shouldn't be able to maintain itself, added to the fact that it's got too many moons in bad placement, and the planet is basically ripping itself apart. The Sylvites didn't need to create a Gigas for this at all. The moons would destroy the planet on their own. So, I just want to throw that out there. And admittedly, hoping that maybe someone like Game Theory or someone gets a notice of this video so it gets covered in more detail. See if maybe, because they'll have a better understanding of physics than I do. Anyways, just wanted to throw that out there. This is YouTube, Michael Young out.